to you all on this beautiful Monday night. We are coming to you live from the beautiful city of New Orleans in Louisiana at the United Public Radio Network at 107.7 FM and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 105.3 FM. We're on Facebook, we're on Roku, we're on Rumble, and we're on YouTube, and we are the Light Gate. Tonight, we have no guest, as you know, and it's going to be kind of cool. And I'm just going to say thank you very much to our sponsor for our network, Carnation. We love y'all very much. You're more than awesome, and I love your stuff always. I mean, I don't drink coffee without you every day of my life. Thank you. All right. So, Preston, what you gonna do?
I'm going to welcome all of you guys for joining us tonight on the Light Gate. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. It's because of you guys we do this show. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm super excited. We love doing Q&As. It's always a lively show. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. This is episode 122. So we're moving right along. We've got some great guests lined up. We've done a few amazing pre-records, which I'm sure you're going to love. So very excited about that as well. I, of course, am your host, Preston Dennett. You guys probably know me pretty well by now. I've written a bunch of books, 32 to be exact, soon to be 33. And, of course, you know Dolly, too. Dolly, do you want to introduce yourself?
Dolly Safran. I'm a contactee, generational. I've been around a long time. Y'all know me, I hope. If you don't know me, we'll talk about it. How's that? There's a book coming out. Hey.
So I'm just going to, I had a few of you tell me don't spend so much time saying hello to folks in chat. So I'm going to try to keep it down to only 4 or 5 minutes. But I do like to say hi to you guys because,
Well, tonight's an appropriate night to do it because we're in Q&A.
Right? Thank you, Dolly.
There you go.
Okay. So hello to Peak. And, I'm going to start that as a question. And we'll get that here. Let's see. We have the Owlman, and we've got
Owlman.
Mountain Dan.
Mountain Dan. But you want to be in the mountains, don't you?
Kaleidoscope Eyes from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Hello.
Robin and Louise. I'm seeing some questions already. Thank you, guys. We have Olivia.
Olivia.
And Scarlet Fire.
Hello.
Rocco Macri. You guys.
Ooh.
So awesome.
Very cool. Thank you.
Scarlet Fire. The last 2 weeks' guests were superb. Yeah, with Simon
yeah.
Bone. We had Michael Cremo. Gosh, that was so interesting.
Yes, it was.
It really was. Patsy Foister. We have based from Australia. I'm not sure I've seen you here before.
I don't think so. Welcome to the Light Gate. Yeah.
Thank you. Fun Talks TV. We got Brenda Whelan, Keith Rothwell, an Energy Shifter.
Hey, Energy Shifter.
And let's see, Summer Girl. Very cool.
Yeah.
Linda Catlett representing San Diego. I've been there. It's a beautiful city.
Yes.
And Dolly, can you pronounce this name? Octop Zupo?
Let's just go with Dr. Huru.
That works for me. All the way from Gippsland, Australia.
Yeah.
Robin's picked up some coffee. Nice.
Very nice.
Okay. Let's see. We have, did I say Janie Mashburn already? I may have.
Not yet. Not Janie. Janie.
Right. Hello, Janie. We got Alfred Miller. We have Debbie C.
Hello.
We have Charlie Sasquatch. I'm putting a star next to your question.
Huh?
And Energy Sifter. Element says, hi, Duchess. Duchess is right here. She's sleeping.
Yeah.
She'll probably drop in. We got Scott from South Carolina.
Hello.
And Alfred Miller. Preston is such a super nice person. Oh.
Yes.
Thank you. I need to pop up my blushy emoji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alfred. We got Wendy Parks from London, UK.
Hello. Hello.
Jess Bustilos representing Idaho. Jesse.
Yes, hi.
Jesse. Okay. Sometimes I'm a little slow. Okay. We got Flea Market Gold.
Hi, Flea Market.
Oh, Energy Shifter. I had to order a book because of last week. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I
Very
understand
cool.
that you got a few sales.
Yeah. Yep. Nice.
We have Fox Mulder.
Hello.
Marilena Macias from Argentina. How cool.
Ah,
Van Darkholm, J.R. Amadeus Schiffer, Charlie Squatch. Thank you so much.
thank you very much. Thank
Are
you.
amazing. Did I skip Namaste? I
I don't
did.
know.
Namaste. Thank you, Namaste. I didn't forget.
Love you. I'm glad to
Almost,
see
but I didn't. Thank you, Namaste.
you. Yes.
We love you so much. You guys are amazing. So yeah, thank you, Charlie Squatch.
Yeah.
Hello, Feeding Five from Indiana.
Wow.
We are
That's
definitely.
good. Yeah.
Dolly has flown over Indiana many times.
Yes.
Bob Thorson, boy, Bob,
Thank you, Bob.
your last message was so interesting. We have to talk about that. Very cool experience.
Yes.
Hello, LR. Thank you for your support. Click the thumbs up. We appreciate it. And who else do we have? Well, I think we're caught up. Okay.
Cool. All right.
So before I actually dive into the questions, I do have a special announcement. Don't guess yet. Had a problem with that last week, but we are doing a book giveaway. We're giving away a copy of Symmetry because Symmetry 2 is coming up, hopefully before this year ends. And yeah, if you guess the right number, don't guess now. You will get a book. We're giving away 3. That way you have 3 chances. And we'll get to that at the top of the hour at 9 Eastern. No guesses yet. 1 guess only. We've got a number between 1 and 1,000. So get on your psychic feelers. Got the number right here. I'm not even going to look at it because I don't want to give it away. All right, I'll look at it. There. Pick it up. Patsy Foister got 1 away from it last time. So, all right. So let's just get started. And we're going to start by asking our own question to get this ball rolling. I'm going to actually start it with asking Dolly because this is in the news a lot, and I know how I feel about it. But Avi Loeb, and his middle name is Ear, by the way, Avi Earlobe, but you didn't know that.
No.
Anyway, Avi Loeb is talking about this interstellar object that he says doesn't show the signals that we see for a comet. And he's calling it 40% chance, I think was the last thing I heard, that it's an ET craft. And he actually said that it could be coming to hurt us. Okay, Dolly, you want to take that on?
Well, I'll start by saying this. You've heard me repeat this multiple times. ET does not travel in conventional space. That which I mean in outside of our planetary system, in space, deep space. They don't go anywhere in deep space. When they travel, they light gate. They travel between point A and point B through a light gate. They go interdimensional. They come into a planet's magnetosphere as quickly as possible because space is dangerous. Why the governments don't want you to know the truth of that? Because they want you to buy the idea that Mars is a place where we can go. It is not. It is a dead cord planet. It has no magnetosphere, no protection whatsoever. It has blown off its entire surface to the point that there's very little of it left. It's outgassing. It's the only reason you see water at the poles or snow anywhere on it. It's because the gas is sometimes hydrogen and it rains snow back down on the ground, but it doesn't last long. It changes constantly. The planet is imploding in on itself. It is dead. Uninhabitable, will never be inhabitable ever. As well as deep space, gamma radiation can kill you dead. Period. There's no Faradaying that. There's no protecting you from it. There's no amount of lead shielding you can put on a vehicle, and it's very heavy to begin with. to protect you from certain types of gamma. And there's more than one kind of gamma radiation out there, but space has all of it, and it will kill you. You won't last. The only reason you can be in space here for any amount of time, like up at the ISS, is because the ISS is still low enough. It's within the guide. It's like right at the edge of our magnetosphere. It's still protected somewhat. It has protection from us, Earth, our magnetic influence, and it shields it a little bit, but it still affects them. We know this to be positively true because two NASA scientists, actual astronauts who were identical twins, did a mission. One stayed on Earth while the other one went up for just over a year on the ISS. When he came back, he had all kinds of issues. No longer did he match identically to his brother's DNA. His DNA was suffering. It was showing signs of having mutations in his DNA, and it has taken him a long time to recover from that. He also experienced other physical anomalies that they don't talk to you about, but did happen to him. It happens to all the astronauts. They have bone loss. They have blood chemistry changes. They have lung capacity shorten and go down. They have all kinds of problems. They lose hair. Their immune systems become compromised. You would not last outside this magnetosphere in deep space for more than a few days. You would be dead on arrival, period. That is why this is the biggest hunk and bunky bunk of BS I have ever heard in my life. I don't know what he is on. I don't know if the government is holding an axe to his throat. I don't know how much funding he is that he's afraid to lose. I'm being dead honest with you. I will brook no quarter here. That is a comet. It might have funny signatures, but not all comets are created the same. It may have minerals on it or other components on it that show an odd signal, but nonetheless, it is a comet. Please do not let anybody or anything in the government, the media, whatever, lie to you. Science up. This is Science 101, people. That is a comet. It is not an alien entity coming to do you harm. Now,
yeah, I would just underline that because we have been visited by UFOs for a very, very long time. They don't take months to get here. They don't
Correct.
travel that way. This is not showing any of the things that we look for. It just makes no sense. And as a
Correct.
scientist, I think it behooves them to be objective and not say there's a 40% chance that, or anything like that, because where do you get that number? That's kind of ridiculous. And to even speculate that this could cause us harm is, again, absurd. So I don't know how you can call yourself a scientist and put forth those kind of ideas without actual hard data to support it.
I will make one more observation. We have gone to the moon, but those guys don't stay there for more than a few days, like 13 days, 12 days. It is ridiculous. That's as long as they can handle being there. Okay. And they come back with changes as well because they're outside the moon. The moon actually has a small magnetosphere, just so you know. It's a real, honest to God, little moon, planetoid, moon.
Did you see this question from Scarlet Fire? Because that's exactly what she's asking.
Yeah, well, it just came to my head. Okay, I heard it. Okay. Yeah. If you're thinking something out loud, honey, I'm going to pick it up. So yeah, I'm answering your question. Secondly, sorry, you didn't see me looking nowhere. It's a little planet, it's a little moon. It probably comes from a chunk of Earth. That's real. It's got its own little magnetic core. It's got its own type of magnetism because it's so heavy and it's pushed down enough. It's got a little magnetic core to it. And it does have, whether you know how much of it or not, there's a faint atmosphere. It's very close to the ground. And there's enough gravity to, not send you shooting off into space. So, but they still only stay there for tops a couple of weeks. They're not going to stay there longer than that. It's too deadly for them to do that. I wish people would. Yeah.
So it's just a space rock, you think? Bob Thornton is asking?
Yeah, it's from a disaster.
No, I mean the Atlas.
Yes, it's not a rock that would make it an asteroid. It's an accumulation of things that makes it into a comet. It's probably got a ton of water on it. It's probably got particles all compacted into it. It has shown that it has a small tail, but it hasn't gotten close enough to Earth yet to really show a tail. A tail only shows up when it gets nearer to a sun from our perspective.
Well, that's
Okay.
exactly what he's saying. There's no tail, which would make sense if there's
Well,
not
it's
near
not
the sun.
close enough. It's not close enough yet for you to perceive the tail. There are
So-
no tails all the way out in space, way far away that you can see. Our sun, from our perspective, shows you the tail, the trail of water vapor coming off of it. That's why. Read up, science up. All this is answerable.
So probably just part of the false flag fun talks is.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, until the sun dies. Atlas 31 is a fragment of an exploded planet. That's my gut feeling. Could be. I don't know.
Got a lot of water on it. It's a comet. It's not a rock. In other words, sure, if a planet explodes and it's basalt, it's still going to have a lot of hydrogen around it. Most comets are blown up things, that are traveling around. They're pieces of everything. So you're real close to the truth on that. We just don't know because we can't analyze it yet. It's not close enough to do spectral analysis on completely, totally. Okay. So it's ridiculous.
Okay. Well, I got some questions sent to me, so I'm going to start with ones that were sent via email because technically that's first.
Okay.
Michelle Wentling is asking, I want to know what the ETs think. What is the best diet for humans? Carnivorous, vegan, raw vegan, gluten-free, etc. How would the ETs respond?
You have a mouthful of teeth, and most of your teeth are for carnivores. They've convinced you're an omnivore because you have gnashing teeth, molars. But I'm telling you, raw meat's got to be gnashed as well, not just poked and prodded. We are carnivorous animals, and the carnivore diet, you get more minerals and all the supplements and vitamins you need in a piece of meat than you do anything else. But if you cook it to death, you're asking for trouble. You have to eat it a very rare or raw. You have to learn to do that. It also has to be fresh, and it can't be full of chemicals that somebody put into that animal. Vegan is not okay. Vegan denies your brain the right kind of protein. Meat is the only thing that carries protein enough to feed your brain properly. You are an animal, you're canine, and you have to eat meat. All the plants and stuff like that was because, think about it, you got people and they're trying to hunt and they're not good at it, and they learn to be gatherers. They learn to gather herbs and medicinal things because they're trying to survive, and they find out that certain plants make them feel better, so they learn to have them and they eat them and they use them. The next thing you know, they find food like fruit and berries and nuts and things like that, so they start munching on that. They supplement as they move between hunts. That's how that happened. Heaven only knows why it went over to being more of an omnivore, a vegetable, plant-based person. It's bad for you. It's bad for you. And if you knew what it's doing to you, you'd stop doing it. You don't need all of the gluten. You don't need all of the carbs that you eat. You operate much better. We have brown fat and we have white fat, okay? And eating whole meat and the proper amounts of the fat that come from that will give you more brown fat. It's lean mass, feeds your muscles faster, feeds your brains faster, and you need to be on a carnivorous diet. Think about it. You can supplement with other things, but you should only be grazing it, not eating it for life, period.
Well, I think it's possible to, this is my opinion, that some people are very happy as vegetarians. But I think that you're making very good points that we all need to consider.
I'm going to make another point. Your body needs to be as healthy as it can for what's coming. Your biomass has got its own little magnetosphere of its own. You create your own magnetism and everything. And if you're not healthy, whatever's going to happen with that much stress and that much energy coming in on you, you are going to be a sorry person. When ET says heal yourselves, that's what they're talking about. Stop letting the world tell you what to eat and learn to eat what's healthy for you, and will produce a very strong body and mind. That's what we're saying. I'm not going to be forgiving or worry about your feelings in this, because your feelings won't save you when the time comes for you to be strong. That's important to understand. And veganism is an idea. It isn't a fact that it helps your body. It does not. If you were a nurse and you were in an emergency room, I can't tell you how many vegans come out dying, starving to death. That's a fact too. Look that one up. All right, go ahead.
I just know that there are some vegans, who are very happy and healthy. So I'm just going to move on because we've got a lot of questions. This is one I stuck in here because this is another one that came before the show actually started.
Okay.
Why don't the aliens describe how their propulsion system works? Which, of course, they do. You want to
Well,
jump in
there's two
there?
reasons. One, you don't have the technology yet to even get close to reworking that one out. They're not going to hand you technology that you are not prepared for. Technology does not make you smart. Technology can cause problems, and it already is for us because we are poisoning ourselves with it. We're polluting the planet with it. We haven't learned anything from our technology. All we want is technology that it's weaponized. I wouldn't give that type of technology to anybody as long as they're still capable of building bombs to kill people. It's as simple as that. You're not ready.
So how exactly do their propulsion systems work?
It's not a propulsion system.
Well, I mean,
Why you might not understand it. It is an energy system that is worked from both ends of what technology you understand. One of the sides of this is it's all psychic. Psychic ability is a type of technology when you use it with light technology. It's all the same thing, and humans don't understand that yet. You're not even close to understanding how that is. So you have a system that has an energy source that is very, very comprehensive. In other words, it has really high amounts of energy output, and it's electric, just so you know, very high, that produces a gravitational wave, a graviton wave. You operate it because the craft itself is built to be biological, and that we have it's indwelled by a higher being, one that's non-corporeal, that can embody it and run it like its own body. And then there's a driver who actually does all the sighting and management of where we're going, knowing what the every planet in the universe has its own frequency, just like you have your own frequency. Okay, every place, every inch of this universe has its own frequency. It's like a grid map of frequencies. It's complicated and highly, highly interesting how that works. And a pilot or driver knows all those frequencies, or at least the ones that they're going to, and can psychically open a light gate, like we talk about the light gate, and go through it with the craft itself. That's also psychic, highly psychic, and we tell the craft where to go interdimensionally. If you're psychic enough to travel interdimensionally yourself freely, you can move that craft, trust me. And fifth dimensional beings that run the craft, ET craft, are that powerful psychically. They can move it. We just need a craft that can hold us in stasis in an energy field that will not let us be murdered or killed by everything outside of us. And that doesn't guarantee that gamma radiation won't get us, but it'll protect us in the gate, which is really weird, but it does. It protects us in the gate so that we can get into an atmosphere where there's a magnetosphere covering us. And
Grant Cameron's research absolutely confirms that these ships are flown psychically.
yes,
And the ships are themselves living embodied beings, another thing that we hear quite often.
yes.
And I can tell you from my own research and having interviewed quite a few people who are taken down to what we would call the engine room, but it's kind of a misnomer here.
It's not an engine room, it's a battery room. There are two things going on a craft. There's one, they use a type of nuclear power that produces a very high wave of energy, and it burns itself through all the way through. There's no fallout. There's no leftover of this element that they use nuclearly.
So Bob Lazar is right when he talks about
yes, he's absolutely 100% right. Okay. But when we're in atmosphere and we're coming down to visit everybody, we cannot use that technology. We will kill you with it. It is very powerful, and it can put cities out like an EMP, only it would be to the order of somewhere between an EMP and a CME. It would knock out an entire city at one time. That's the kind of energy it puts out when it's running that energy. So what they have to do is go to battery power. And what's in the bottom of the crafts are battery packs that can hold the type of high voltage energy that they need to create the graviton wave. It wears out very quickly, and that's why you see ETs looking for power lines or big, places where they can take water on or get lightning. They'll walk into a lightning storm, they'll just go in it and take the energy from it. as it's happening, because that will repower their batteries. And if you want to know what Giza is, it is a giant battery that shoots a electric wave up that they can draw power.
It used to be when it was.
Oh yeah, it's not working
It was
now.
in operation.
Now we have high tension wires and big substations and all kinds of stuff like that. They can take power from that.
Yeah. So from what I understand, use a propulsion system, and that's probably the wrong term.
No, because propulsion means it's an engine.
They basically harness a planet's gravitational field lines. They're magnetic.
No. Don't harness them.
Well, they use them to travel up and down.
No. They repulse. That you almost got it. It's a magnetic field that they're generating around them, okay? And the planet has its own generated magnetic fields too, and their field guidelines, okay? So when we come down and we're on battery, yes, we're skating on them, or surfing on them, or like being on the sea.
And that's for planetary travel, but interplanetary is a completely separate system.
Different system,
which we've described in depth in the book Symmetry.
Yes.
Which involves high amounts of electricity. And to get that, you need that element that Balbazar is talking about.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
It's kind of a long answer, but we got there.
All the way through and turns into something else. I'm not kidding you. It becomes the next element. It totally utilizes that complete element. And what's funny is there's none on this planet. I think maybe there's a thimbleful of it naturally here that they've found, but they can't create it here. That's why they built CERN, by the way, because they were trying to approximate the energy that they need to get a magnetic field going. And they found an approximation, but it's not the same thing. And they thought it was antimatter, but it is not. The antimatter does not exist in the third dimension. It does not.
It couldn't by nature. It's anti.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to pop up another. Well, I can't pop it up. This is from Michelle Wentling. She gave us like 7 questions. So I'm going to just ask the next one, because this is a good one.
Okay.
What do the ETs think about mainstream religion? Is there a right one? Or are all of them right, or none of them? Let me just start, Dolly, while you simmer this.
I'm not simmering.
Consider it. What I can tell you is we did have a guest on here. Gosh, what is his name? He passed away. Really great guest. He asked that question. And they basically said, none of them are fully correct. And as far as I know, ETs don't have any organized religion. I've never really heard that. So I can only tell you what I've heard from other contactees, that they've never really endorsed any religion. But Dolly could probably speak to that with more confidence.
ET's understanding of God, what you call God here, is all mind. And it is it's a mental approximation of what really actually is. And I'm going to use a physical idea for you to expand on. All right, your brain has synapses, it has nodes. It's electrical. It thinks. It can build new synapses and new nodes. Some live and some die. It moves on and it keeps going until you expire, and then it all shuts down. The all mind, in their understanding, and it's not a belief, they know, this is knowledge that they've accumulated over the billions of years that they've been around, that we are all part of that. We are nodes within an all mind. In other words, all of us electrical beings, because you are consciousness. It's electrical. You are alive. All consciousness has always existed. It will always exist. It cannot not exist. It's already there. All right. We are part of that. And we are independent. We are singular. In other words, you have autonomy. You can think for yourself and do what you want. But you are so connected, like the brain is, that we're all together in this at the same time. We all think together in this. We can hear each other in this, universe-wide. Okay? It is serious stuff to try to comprehend. It's like comprehending eternity. That's what this is. You're comprehending that all of this consciousness all together, independently and all together as one, is the mind, and it's called the all mind. People want to think that you can create. Everything is already there because we've already collectively done all that. What you're doing here is learning to employ all the knowledge you already have outside of this body. You're learning everything you can so that you can understand it. You can be the smartest thing in source, which is the mind itself, and not be wise enough to deal with it or to have enough employable wisdom to elevate yourself or move up into more understanding or stage and level of what that means. Because the idea here is for us to meet and greet the original all mind, the all mind itself. You want to be able to become that. I don't know how long that will take you. Everybody's different, but the idea is to move up through that so that you can have the same ability. There's more.
Didn't you want to ask them directly about Jesus and that he was basically an enlightened
master? Yes, yeah. They know that he's been rewritten. You know, this is a control thing. The powers that be on this planet has rewritten the Bible so many times you have no idea, even though they were warned not to do it. It is a control element. Most religions are a control element. They control you in that, like almost like a cult where it's warnings and things that'll happen to you that'll go wrong for you. Everything is this, that, and the other. There's a lot of negativity going on with the promise of heaven or the promise of hell. And that is not how reality is, really. It's not at all. We are all together in this. We all have to learn, and you're here for a reason to know all that is knowable before you move on, and then move on. Every choice you make is up to you 100%. You came here for it, period. And I want to promise you something. This is not a safe place to be, okay? You come into the third dimension to be alive in the body. You're putting yourself in the hardest school there is, okay? Because it is like a double-edged sword. It's either going to cut you to ribbons or you're going to learn how to wield it, the power of what that is. Think about that. You, yourself, nobody else. Nobody can tell you how to manage your own life or manage your destiny or anything about you. But you have to learn to wield your own abilities yourself. That's what they mean by healing yourself. Getting rid of all this stupid extraneous information that you've been handed that's not true. Okay?
I do think we are responsible for our own wisdom.
Right.
And becoming enlightened.
You are 100% responsible. There's no such thing as perfection, by the way. All right. ET has bad days too. If you're living a physical life, you're going to have a bad day. Everybody does. But that's the learning process. Think about that. It's okay to make mistakes. Just don't make them more than once. Learn from them. Okay.
I locked myself out of my car 3 times before I learned not to make that mistake. So, it took me a while. Okay, next question. And this is an interesting one because you've talked about this before. Question to Dolly. Supposedly the UFO craft are fabricated in the 4th dimension where matter can be printed at the atomic or subatomic level to non-earthly material that can layer boron, magnesium, zinc, so forth.
Okay, first of all, you live almost into the 4th dimension now. We're 3-dimensional beings. We live in the 3rd dimension, but you exist into the 4th because you already can conceive of it. People can draw it out. People can mathematically do it. And we have days where we see entities that are already dead, but they're still hanging around. You can see them. That's 4th dimensional right there. Okay. You swear you have guardian angels. Those are 4th dimensional beings actually able to see you and communicate with you and watch over you like you're a friend because you live with them. And that's living almost into the 4th dimension. The reason you don't see it fully is you're not using your psychic abilities. Your pineal gland is not wide open like it should be. If it was operating properly, you would already fully be in the 4th dimension. Okay. But you're kind of blind to it. There is a 5th dimension, and that is 100% non-corporeal. Okay. Gravity is 100% different in the 5th dimension. There is no more corporeal being at all. It's all consciousness. They are the ones that create the craft. It's not printed. Trust me, they have a process, and I couldn't explain it to you if I tried, but it is what it is. And yes, all the elements that they use are universally available throughout all the dimensions because we're all here together at the same time. They have access to them. But
so are these craft made in higher dimensions then?
Yes, in the 5th dimension. Yes. That's why 5th dimensional beings indwell them to come here. Yep.
That's insane when you think about it. That's why it'll never, ever be reverse engineered.
No, not at all.
Not anytime soon, at least.
No.
Okay.
I don't worry about it, okay? And not at all. I don't lose sleep over it at all.
All right. This next question is for me, and I don't know if I can answer this easily, Peak. Question for Preston. What's the most mind-blowing thing you've learned from Dolly about the nature of reality while writing Symmetry 2? Hey, that's hard to answer because we're still doing some of the interviews for Symmetry 2. I think it's that the higher dimensions really is more a matter of your own perception and your own level of wisdom and consciousness and awareness, rather than it being something separate from us. I think that it's taken me a long time to wrap my head around, but it makes total sense because there are people now who have reached that ability to see and talk to spirits, or perhaps levitate and do all these things, and they're here in this dimension as we would think of it. So the idea that all these dimensions are actually one, I think is really mind-blowing when you think about it. And it's really our own responsibility, which is what we're talking about.
Right. Your human body is limited.
To,
the physical human
color
body.
Our wisdom and our experience and get to that point.
Yeah. If you're not hooked up to your abilities, you're operating with half the system as it should. It's like an android. There's the body, but the computer's not turned on. You can't hear the signal to the person who's programming it, which would be your consciousness programming your physical mind. Your eyesight is limited. You can only see certain frequency of light and color and shape and all that into dimensional space because it's limited. It's a physical limitation in this place where you live. You have a lot of limitations here. And without your psychic abilities, you're just not going to perceive it because it goes beyond what your physical body is capable of doing. That's why. And you don't see all the dimensions at one time. You don't know that they're there. You experience phenomena. That's the only time I'm going to use that word, by the way, of all of it. Okay. Because there are different aspects to everything. And there are different things, energies coming through to you dimensionally. All right. And if you don't understand or know what they are, you're going to see it a certain way. Okay. People say, I see ghosts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you do. But what you don't realize is that you're seeing entities like you, that you're seeing consciousness trying to communicate with you. And it's coming into you. It's coming to you interdimensionally. Your consciousness is interdimensional 24/7. It never stops. Your physical mind isn't. It's 3-dimensional, 4th-dimensional. And you have to learn to open up and widen out your abilities so that you can make the discernment, have discernment to recognize it for what it actually is, the reality of it. Most people here do not actually live in reality. They live in what they have constructed to believe and understand because you have no other point of reference.
Well, extricating yourself from delusion is no small task. And I love what Andrew Rollins says here because I think there's some real important truth to the same message that I got. We are here to gain wisdom, not necessarily to learn knowledge because we already know everything but don't have understanding of it. We are part of this universe. So we already are, the answers are within us.
Yes.
So,
Well, not within here, it's within your consciousness. And like I said, you've got to have that pineal gland open and working. It is a transmitter, it's a receiver, it's your telephone between the two of you or the one of you. Okay. And it's real important to hook up to that. One of the things you can do is just stop thinking, learn to meditate, shut up, tell your physical mind, be quiet, don't think. Let the signal come through to you. You will do so much for yourself if you do that. You'll start to see things as they really are. You'll become good witnesses, good observers, okay, of what really is before you. Knowledge, information, all of that will start clicking for you if you're able to open your mind and be quiet long enough to get it, to enjoy the learning of it, okay? Wisdom is learned things. Okay.
Michelle Wentling has another question. Do they know where we go after death?
Yes. Yeah. We all go to the same place. We go back to source, back with the all mind, into the center of that mind. Yes. That's where we hang out.
Yep. And I do know of cases where people have been taken on board and been reunited with deceased relatives. I think that one really put Whitley Strieber, threw him for a loop a little bit. It's like, wait, because this has something to do with life after death, and this is really hard, I think, for people to understand. But they have access to
I want
source
to
in
say
a way that
something.
perhaps we don't.
You understand that the Japanese have a religion, quote unquote religion, called Shinto, okay? And that's the religion of family, of deceased loved ones. They not only pray to them, they expect answers. They expect the communication between them. And they have meditation techniques. They have ways of seeing. If you talk to the Japanese people, I'll tell you that they probably OBE better than anybody else on this planet because they see their loved ones. They communicate with them. Elders, all of that. And it's normal for them to see things that way because they've allowed their abilities. They have one of the cleanest diets on this planet. Think about that as well. All right. This is serious stuff. Understanding what's really going on around you and not looking with, blinders and only tunnels. You'll see the truth. You'll add it all up in your head. This is real. I see my family when I want to. After they've left, I have communication with them. I have communication with other people. I'm considered a medium, but I'm not in my mind. I don't want to call myself that because I'm not. I actually just see what's really going on around me. All right. And when they want to talk to you, they will. And if you ask to talk to them, there will be a meetup. Trust me. I see people walking around all the time that are just like, bleh. They don't know where they are, what they're doing, and sometimes try to help. Preston's really good at it, by the way. He runs into people like that all the time and tries to help them. We have to understand that you are not alone. You are not alone physically. You are not alone mentally. You are not alone spiritually. We are constantly 100% in the soup of everything all at one time. Okay?
Well, I'm going to pop this one up and give it cuts because it's related to this. So there's no heaven or hell, not as it's taught in structured religion. No. There are people who pass on and are in their own, what I would call their own private hell, where they're basically consumed by their own depression, grief, anger, or whatever negative emotion has really made it difficult for them. There are what I would call lower realms or lower states of consciousness, where people, because most of us when we die, we'll go up to what you can call the heavenly realm. I'm not really a religious guy,
Upper.
but yeah.
Upper.
Beautiful. There's no shadows there, but there are lower realms where there are shadows and it's dark and people do have a hard time.
It's like everybody's in a sleeping chamber and they're not awake. I want you to understand that. You can leave here stupid, all right? Literally unknowing of anything and haven't learned anything. And you will go to the other side and you will be in that state for a while until you wake up. And there will be plenty of people there trying to help you, okay? For you
there
to
are people who've had near-death experiences who end up in a kind of what they did experience as a hellish realm. Read Simon Bone's book on near-death experiences. He was on our show because there's some truth to that, but it's not what people think it is.
If you create it, you can expect to see it. That's the problem, okay?
Yeah.
Like you go into a dream state and you can't get out of it. And if that's what you're dreaming, that's what you're going to see.
Yeah. So our beliefs do play a role here.
Yeah.
Okay. Scarlet Fire. Hi, Dolly. Will planet Earth soon have peace on Earth? Goodwill towards men. Seems kind of crazy these days.
No.
I'm not going to hold my breath. Oh, I hate to say it.
No. As long as humanity wants to hurt itself and others in it, there will be no peace. There will be no understanding between anybody. We all have to wake up at the same time. We all have to be willing to agree to be at peace with one another. And that's an order I don't think that humanity is capable of right now. You have to understand that as long as you're closed off in your mind, you're going to think stinking thinking, okay? And one of the things that's unfortunate about being closed-minded, which means encapsulated in your cranium without your consciousness talking to you, is that you can automatically go toward violence. You can automatically go toward hate. You can automatically, anything can set you off if you're running around in your own cranium and not able to get out of it. It can drive you crazy. And that's what's happening. And when I say that ET wants you to wake up, that's what I mean. They want you to use your abilities. They want you to see the forest for the trees. They want you to attain wisdom, this ability. And the only way you can do that, and it's going to be hard. It's not easy. Nobody guarantees this to you at all. It's 100% up to you, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It means you should plow through it until it happens for you. Literally plow through it, no matter what. And that means following some inherently known precepts. And these are where you get the idea that I have to be moral. I have to understand cause and effect. I have to understand empathy and what it means to be empathetic for real. I have to understand what love is. There's all kinds of aspects of humanity that you have to dive into, but it begins with you. You can't change the planet or the world. It starts with you first. That's where you begin. And then hopefully maybe everybody does it and then it happens. But in my opinion, I don't see it happening this
Not
time.
here. No. But there are places where people do live in peace. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Whew. Okay. Yeah, Scarlet Fire. Gosh, I'm an optimist, but I just don't see it. All right. Peak. I like this question too. Happy Lightgate Monday, everyone. First question. How goes Symmetry's sequel? It's coming along. I was real bogged down there with other projects for a long time, but now we're going full force. I'm on page 65. And now that I've got most of the interviews done and we've structured it, I expect to be by a page 120 over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and he has me available. I mean, I'm reading chapters now as he does them, and that's way better because before he was alone in LA and I was in Florida, so he didn't have the contact with me, to talk about it every day like we can do now. So that's helping.
It's going to be just as good, if not better, because this one has all kinds of really cool adventure stories that, like the first one, just cool stuff, experiences, but also direct ET knowledge. We're going to be talking about all the different dimensions and psychic abilities and all the structure of the universe, the real hard questions that are very difficult to answer in a show like this, say, because we want to dig deep. Oh, it's going well. I'm so excited. It's really exciting, some of the stuff. So thank you, Peak. Okay. Oh, well, here's one of the questions we'll be exploring in the book. And this is, gosh, we dove deep into this because it's hard to understand, at least for me. Are the fourth dimension and the astral dimensions the same thing? If not, what or where is the astral dimension in relation to the fourth dimension?
Okay, let's get the definition straight first, because you're putting two things together that have no business put together. When you say the word astral can mean a couple of things. One, astrophysics, out in space, out in the universe, astrally. Everything astral is away from here, right? It's out above us, it's way away. That's that's a physical astral, physicality, okay? The second one is dimensional astral, and that only happens when your consciousness gets out of this body and can move out astrally. You have an astral body, okay? You have the energy that comprises you is an actual astral body. You can consider yourself part of the universe already because you're already interdimensional. You have an astral body, and that's when you go OBE, out of body. That's a shorthand for astroplaning. You're going out astrally, your consciousness, into the astral realms, the astral dimensional realms. And yes, it is the same thing, but I want you to understand the mechanics of it. It is the same thing. One is physical and one is interdimensional consciousness. Okay? All right.
All right. Yeah. So when people are going out of body, they're not necessarily going to the fourth dimension. They're going to source.
All the dimensions are already on top of each other. You're living in all the dimensions. You just can't see them or perceive them where they're at.
Yeah. That was really interesting to me. Okay. Thanks, Peak. That was a good question. Let me pull that out. And I'm going to go to another one from Michelle Wentling. She sent like 8, so I'm going through them. When are the ETs going to physically reveal themselves to Earth and meet us?
They've already done that. They're not here right now. They cannot be here because of what's going on in our solar system. We are really going through an electromagnetic current sheet that is causing us problems in our solar system. And it's not just us, it's any solar system that it would be going through in our galaxy, okay? And it's a pretty big thing that we're slicing through. My estimation would be that we are probably either right in the middle of it right now or dang close, okay? And that has caused every planet in our solar system to change its poles. It's made our sun It ignited our sun first, and we all fell suit. Every one of the planets in our solar system is in circuit energetically with our sun. I want you to understand how that works. Our sun puts out tons and tons of energy, and each one of the planets, depending on its position and proximity to the sun, take that energy in. It doesn't just go right through us. If you've got a magnetosphere and an electromagnetic core, it can amplify and be shot back toward the sun. That's the circuit. We're in circuit with one another. So ET can't be here because our magnetosphere is down, our poles are changing, and the field lines of energy, because our poles are changing, they're all wonky wampus right now, is not safe for them to fly in at all. And they quit 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now. They're done. They won't come back until our poles finish changing. We're due to have a CME of unbiblical proportions, okay? And when that happens, there's a time period between that and a possible micronova right behind it. It could be, I don't know, what, 8 to 10 years later. I think that's what everybody's thinking about it, where they have an opportunity when our magnetosphere tightens up to protect us again, that they can come back. And when they do, there might not be anybody here. That's why I'm talking. That's why people are talking. That's why Ben Davidson, who I keep telling y'all, go to his bloody playlist and watch it. It's the whole disaster series. Learn it. This guy is smart. He is a genius. He understands what he's talking about. He can tell you he's spent years doing this, and he's got the best teaching playlist there is on this subject. And I want you all to become aware of it, watch it, learn from it, do your homework, as he states. I say do your homework. You can't understand what anybody's talking about unless you have a foundation of knowledge. And this is that foundation. He will explain it all to you. Yeah, it's beautiful. He's about to come out with a movie that's free to everybody. I think it comes out in October, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere between late September into October. And you need to find that movie when it hits the nets, because it's important. He's written 2 or 3 books. Buy the books, learn this stuff, because this is actual reality. This is actual truth about the circumstances that we all find ourselves in. And the most important one for ET is that we can't be here right now. They can't with the craft, because they crash. They started crashing in the 50s, and it got so bad they went.
Okay, we got okay to go to, but I just want to underline that. So yes, the ETs have revealed themselves in the distant past over and over again, and throughout the past 100 years, majorly over schoolyard, over driving
millions
theaters.
and millions of you have seen.
There are a million documented cases. No, they're not showing up and landing and staying here and offering, free advice. But they have absolutely shown themselves.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to pop up a question, Dolly, and you're going to field it, because it's now time to do our book giveaway. Okay. We are giving away 3 copies of Symmetry. We've got a number between 1 and 1,000. You each get 1 guess. We're only taking guesses now. So if you previously guessed, it doesn't count. You have to give it now. And it will go on for the next hour. So you can start popping in your guesses. Please be kind. No, only 1 guess, guys. If you've already gotten the book Symmetry, you can still get a book. Just go through my list of books and choose one. But this is the book we're giving away today to help promote the sequel. So give us your guesses. And while I am going through your guys' huge number of numbers, I'm going to give you a question, Dolly, which is... Dun, 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 dun. Where did I see it? Hold on. Okay, this is a loaded question from Scott from South Carolina. What is the best innate power should humans be developing?
Okay, well, we all have innate abilities. I don't describe it as power. That is, it leads you down the wrong path. Don't think of it as a power. It is an ability. And the most leading innate ability you have, literally, is the ability to hear signal. In other words, but the volume on your ability is very low right now because you gummed up your pineal gland with stuff. Psychic ability begins with sentience, sentient, coherent hearing of signal coming into you. Period. The end. That's the first most important one. Once you gain that one, all the others kind of fall out, and you learn to use them as you start seeing and feeling your way through it. It's like walking. You have legs when you're born, but you can't walk yet. It takes time for those muscles to develop. It takes time for those tendons to strengthen up so you can make the ability to stand. So the most important innate ability you have is sentient contact or sentient psychic ability, and that is intuition. Number one, your intuition is only part of it, though. When you gain full intuition, full ability through your intuition, you can start to hear every conversation there is around you from everywhere there is. You'll start to hear people, places, and things in a way that will astound you. You will start to hear the truth because you can't lie to somebody who's that sentient, that awake. That is the most important one you own. And that's the one you develop or work on to develop first. You have to walk before you can run. Okay, so I'll
because I'm still busy.
Everybody has this ability to some degree. You have fleeting moments of it. Like if your friend's thinking about you and you can't stand it one day, you just wake up and you say, I haven't thought of this guy in a million years. I need to call him right now. And that friend says, I was just thinking about you. Oh my God. That's sentience. That's sentient ability operating. Absolutely. You made the connection to one another. Here's another one. You got a song. You can't stop singing it. You turn on the car radio. Boop. There it is. Okay. You're hearing it. You're sentient. You can hear it coming in at you. You are walking into a room of people and you have three friends and two of them have been talking about you behind your back. And you walk up to it and you feel it. You know it. You know that the conversation was about you. You can almost think in your head what it might have been, and you can read them like a book at that moment. That's sentient ability. There are children, mamas, daddies. You have a child, you're not with your child, and suddenly something happens to your child that's adverse, traumatic, and you just know it. That is sentient psychic ability. You are hearing, seeing, and feeling something that's going on that you have received because that child is sending you the message. The connection between parents and children is immensely strong. And if you're going to learn how to use your abilities, I suggest you work with your own children. You let them be psychic as they want to be, and then you play psychic games with them. I can't tell you how easy that is for you to do. You keep a little book, and you write down every day that you play the games and how well you're doing at it. You keep a record, a track of it. You talk about your experiences with it, how you felt, what was going on. This is not magic. This is not mumbo jumbo. This is absolutely real. You can do this. The first things that I would start with are alphabet, lines, like cross, star, circle, wavy lines, triangles, and colors. All right, those are the three things. It's like being in preschool for psychic ability. You start at preschool level and you track it and you get better and better and better at it. And once you get to the point where you're 100% at it, straight down the line, like if you could take a deck of cards, break it open, shuffle it, and tell you flip them. And if it's a dark, the spade or the clubs, dark, or then red diamonds or hearts. If you can do it through the deck 100% of the time, you are validly using your abilities 100% of the time. That's what you're looking to be able to do. That's clairsentience, okay? Clear, sentient receive of information. Doesn't matter what it is. Don't worry about what kind of information or where it comes from or anything. But clairsentience is you receiving signal and determining what that is 100% of the time. You do that and all the other stuff will start to come to you naturally. You'll begin to do it yourself for yourself, but that's what you work on first. Absolutely. Okay. Preston?
We got some great guesses, guys. Thank you. Let me get my microphone back here. But guesses are still open. One of you came very close. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I think one of the most important abilities a person can learn is acceptance and love. The ability to adjust their knowledge to new knowledge. What you believe to be true might not be true. It's very difficult to let things go. So that's also an important ability in my opinion. But ultimately, I think it's a natural process that we all just gain wisdom Wouldn't worry too much about it. Just pay close attention at all times to what's going on inside you and around you. And I think sooner or later,
Let it come.
illumination. Yeah. Okay. Phew. I think we do have 3 winners. We'll announce towards the end of the show, but keep guessing. Okay, that was a good question. Scott from South Carolina. I'm going to pop up another one from Michelle Wentling. Are there good and bad ETs? If bad, how can we protect ourselves from the bad ETs? And I'm going to jump in first, Dolly, because I know of course there are bad ETs. Look at us. I would say that there are people on this planet who won't qualify as bad. Do I think bad ETs are visiting here? I don't. I really don't. And believe me, I've interviewed a lot of people. I think some of the accounts out there that are quite negative are due to a number of factors. One is fear can paint a person's experience as negative. Another is it's outright falsehood. People are lying. Another is that they are, I hate to use that word victims, but they're victims of my labs, nefarious government experiments, essentially using technology and hypnosis and drugs and every tool in their box. Do I think ETs are here to hurt, harm, scare? No, I really don't. Do I think that there are planets out there with people like us who are undeveloped? I would say yes. But that's my assessment based on my own research. Dolly has had direct experience with this, decades of experience. And I know she feels very strongly about this.
If you're smart enough to get here, you have gone through all the things that could make you an idiot and lost them already. The type of psychic ability, the type of traveling that they do, the type of science that they employ has exceeded the desire to do negative things. We are not being visited by any people, and they are people like us, whether they look like us or not, that are harmful to us. We are related to them. We are directly related to them. They are our progenitors. We are not on the hit list. We are not, there's nothing going on with that at all. Yes, there are still developing people in the universe who are on the same par with us, and they're not leaving their planet either. You know, to go interdimensionally, to travel clean across the universe. You know, you have to think about how far away we are from each other. Okay, you're not going to get there in conventional space. Look how long it took Voyager to get where it's at. Okay, it's impossible to not state this any more clearly. Advanced, billions of years in advance of us have lost, gotten rid of, don't have a bone in their body like that at all. They are extremely developed, wise entity people. Okay. And they're not coming here to get you. What is happening is that you're being conditioned to be terrified of everything in your life. You have nothing but experience here and you see it here. And so you've been told that it's elsewhere. It is not. Don't believe when they tell you that. It's not true. Not at all.
All right. Let's move to the next question. I'm sorry, I'm still fielding some of the numbers here. Okay. Goodness, Leah, I have never heard this before.
Okay.
I heard if we spit on seeds, we impart our DNA to the plant. I've never heard that. You seem a bit flummoxed, Dolly.
No, that's not how that works. That plant's got a biological covering on it protecting itself from you. Now, if you have bacteria, that bacteria can affect that plant. Oh, yes, it can. It can kill it. It can't mutate it or anything, but it can absolutely kill it. But your DNA is not going into the plant. But by a strange coincidence, your plant you have already got the DNA of that plant in your biome, in your DNA as well. We carry the DNA of everything biologically alive that has DNA. It's all in everybody's DNA. You have the DNA of grass. You have the DNA of bananas, of bonobos, of birds. All of it is locked into your DNA. So you're not that much different from them. But if you spit on a seed, you might hurt it because you've got a lot of bacteria in your mouth and you probably kill it. Just saying. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I have a suggestion. Go do it. I'm telling you, it's not going to grow face, hands, nails, or hair. It is going to grow or die, depending on whether that seed protected itself and can take on the nutrients to grow. Okay? No.
Jade Evenstar. Any history of short Yoda-like ETs? Well, we talked to a guy today who had some very interesting encounters. He's going to appear in a future pre-recorded episode. So, yeah, there are short beings. Are they Yoda-like? I don't know.
I don't know. Kind of, sort of. We have wild imaginations. You can think of anything and make it real in your head. Okay. There might be a close approximation, but no, not like Yoda. No.
No, Scarlet Fire. By the way, I'm a guy. Okay.
Thank you, Scarlet.
Did not know that. I just assumed.
I'm a Southern girl, and Scarlet was a girl. Okay, just saying. I'm automatically going to go there. No offense, but that's what I'm going to do. So, okay. Now I understand the handle because you're thinking of Scarlet Fire. That fine.
Makes more sense.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I think there's many different types of ETs, and all basically human as we would think of it, humanoid. We share a common heritage, but the ancestries that dial out there's an endless variety.
Yeah, I will tell you this about DNA. There are people on this planet that know how to operate DNA, and they can modify it. And we eat a lot of food that's been genetically modified. GMOs, that's what that is, a genetically modified plant that's had its DNA altered by a chemist. I would be afraid of that. I would be afraid of what you're eating, because there are plenty of plants that are dangerous to us, and you don't know what they're playing with when they do that, or what they're going to make happen as a result, because mutation is mutation. If you bring two genes together that have never been together before, you might get a mutant that's incredible. And now they've GMO'd just about everything you can think of. So yeah, be careful with that.
Well, listen to this from Ben Everything. He's talking about a man who developed over 700 new plant varieties, claimed he spoke to the plants to change them, told the thornless prickly pear cactus to stop making thorns.
No,
but
no.
I think you can't nurture plants. You made flower grow.
You breed together different things of the same species. Humanity is a type of a species of beings. We're all human, Homo sapiens sapien here. We are not different races. We have one ethnicity together, human, that we look different because we have different colors. It's just our DNA doing that. Okay. It doesn't mean you're a different race. It means that, but we are a species. We're different from the feline species. We're different from the canine species. Those are different species from us, and we cannot interbreed with them. But plants, all the plants are the same species, and you can breed different plants together to see what you get. It's called husbandry. We do it with animals, like dogs. You can breed a bunch of different dogs together and get different characteristics and traits. Okay, so that's what it is. It's called animal husbandry, or herbology. Herb people who are doing plant. I can't think of the name of it right now. Daggone it. Bio something. Anyway, yeah.
Engineering.
Breed plant. No, that's talking about DNA. But I'm talking about you take different flowers and you breed them together to get a better flower, stronger traits, or you get a new type of flower. That's why we started with one kind of dog on this planet. Now, how many do we have? Okay, different ethnicities of dogs, from giant to small to hairy, no hair at all. As well. Yeah. Okay. All right. Including the crazy one we got. That's right.
All right. Thank you, Rain Appreciator. Appreciate that. Asking, I've received messages. I have children in secret space breakaway groups. How should I lovingly interact with my psychic children and in-laws, or any other advice? You can absolutely connect to people psychically, meditate on them. And if you're connected to them as parent to child, you have that absolute unbreakable connection. I don't know about this secret space program. I'm skeptical of that sort of thing. This is just my assessment based on my own research, so it's hard for me to give advice on that. But absolutely, you can. Oh, look at the duck. You can interact with your loved ones psychically by just reaching out to them.
Yeah, there is no secret space program, but there is my lab. I would worry about myself in that instance. I would worry who's talking to you in your head, because no, that is not okay. It's not real, and I would do a lot of research about that. I would verify it, 100% be able to verify it. If you can't, then you need to seriously consider that you're being messed with. Period. I'm being dead honest with you. There is no secret space program as you understand it, or the people out here in the ufology understand
We're not
it.
going to Mars or anything like that. We've
There's
already
no
talked about why.
None of that. That's not real. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, you guys, for all these questions. I'm going to pop up another one from Michelle Wentling, and I can certainly answer at least part of this. Can the ETs heal us of illness, disease, and injuries, and what do they think of our corrupt medical industries? Well, absolutely, they can heal. I wrote a book called The Healing Power of UFOs. It presents 300 cases from pretty much all the major researchers out there, such as David Jacobs even, but John Mack, Bud Hopkins, Edith Fiore, Barbara Lamb, Yvonne Smith, Timothy Good, Brad Steiger, Tim Beckley. I could go on and on. This is absolutely one of the main reasons people are pulled on board. It's a health checkup. They're basically, this is one of their main goals with us. It's all about healing, guiding, teaching, informing, warning, preserving, waking us up to our own abilities. And they've healed everything you can imagine. I got a long, long list. What do they think of our corrupt medical industries? Not good. They've warned against greed and corruption over and over again. So that would be how I'd answer it. But yeah, I think Dolly would confirm that essentially.
In the last 100 years, we've been taking heavier and heavier loads of energy from the sun because our magnetosphere is not protecting us from it. And it is having an effect on our health worldwide. Okay. It is causing your DNA to change and mutate. It's causing cancers. It's causing autoimmune disorders. It's causing mental illness. It's causing heart problems. When we have a CME now, there are a lot of people that are going to have a heart attack because of the energy coming in. If they're vulnerable to it, it can happen to them. It is changing animals on this planet. We've had some major extinctions because of it. And the first ones I could talk to you about that I learned when I was very young, because my dad used to lose his mind, his first words out of his mouth to me one day, well, more frogs are dying. We're all in trouble. This is it. It's really happening. And I was like, what? I'm 8 years old. What are you talking about? And he said, frogs are vulnerable to incoming radiation through our atmosphere. And they're the first ones to go. And it is happening on a massive scale. I went, oh, and that forced me to go look it up and read it and learn as much as I could about what the hell he was, excuse my French, talking about. All right. Albinism is a type of genetic disorder, but when you see an animal that's clearly not albino, but he's got white fur, white hair, like white moose, white bears, white elephants, white sharks, white this or that, that is direct damage to your DNA happening. We're seeing loads and toads of them. And that's one of the things that happens to us. It causes mental confusion. It causes mental breakdown. It causes, all kinds of maladies. It causes skin cancer. It causes all kinds of stuff. And if you don't have a healthy diet, if your body's not healthy, you're not protecting yourself against it. Your own biome has a certain amount of pushback from that. And what have they been doing to us? They've been getting us to eat bad food. They've been GMOing us. They've been feeding us, big pharma have been loading us with chemicals that we have no business putting in our mouths. This is serious stuff. And I can't tell you enough what's happening to us right now. It all relates back to that. We're in that time period right now. We're in that part of a cycle that's causing all this stuff to happen. And the powers that be on this planet don't give a bloody hoot about you. And they don't care because you're in their way. And they're using you for fodder. They're using you to do their bidding so that they can get what they want out of you to protect themselves, not you. They have created an unsustainable earth. Everything's crazy. And I'm telling you, this is big time, a big deal. Okay, think about it. When I say go read, I can't even, the number one thing on your mind should be, number one, what's really going on. Okay, what's really happening, and you got to start at the foundational truth of it all, at the bottom of everybody's agendas on this planet. That's the agenda. Why they're acting the way they do, why they're doing to us what they do, why you live the life you lead on this planet. I'm telling you, ET knows this. They can only do so much to help humanity. They've been trying, because they've been told point blank, stay out of it. They did try to make contact with our governments, and our governments went, we got this.
And every parent knows you can't solve your child's problems, or they will never learn. We have to do it. They've said this over and over again. We got ourselves into our mess. It's up to us to get out of it.
You wonder why me and Ben and a whole lot of people like us, and there are plenty of them out there. There are plenty of physicists. There are plenty of doctors. There are plenty of people screaming from the rooftops, stop, drop, and roll. You need to get away from what the governments are telling you and the media is telling you and everything else, and listen to what people understand about reality. And this is reality for us. Absolute 100% across the board, And if I had 10 hours a day to teach you this, I would, but Ben already did it. Go watch his playlist. It's Space Observers. Go for it. Okay.
There's still time to submit your winning number. We're giving away 3 books tonight. For those of you who haven't already entered a number, I've got 3 winning numbers. There's still some time though. 1 guess only. 1 number between 1 and 1,000, and you win the book Symmetry. If you already have the book, you can still play. You can get to pick another book out of my list of books that I have. Just go to my website. But yeah, it looks like we've got 3 winners, unless someone else is going to submit. Live show listeners only. So if you're watching the replay, unfortunately, this will already have been given away.
Yeah.
So yeah, otherwise, I'll be announcing that in like 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes, 25, thereabouts. Yeah. So still time. Okay. Next question. And this is a very sensitive question. And thank you, Charlie Squatch, for asking this. So he's like, this could be a trigger warning for some people, but I think it's an important question. And he's asking, with love and care from Chicago, do ETs ever contemplate self-annihilation, taking one's own life? He says, this is not a call for help, thank you. But this is a good question, because when I wrote the book about UFO healings, I was shocked to learn that taking one's own life is one of the top 10 causes of death in the United States. So that's a real problem. I don't know, do ETs ever have, what's their stance on this subject?
All right. Well, one of the reasons that I studied psychology as well as nursing, psychology was my major, was to understand this very thing, because I was seeing it as well as a young person. People, it's not just people individually thinking, it's governments. I mean, Canada used to have commercials on TV about 5 years ago about, if you're really at the end of your life, you want to end it, they get a way for you to do it. And they will help give you the keys to that kingdom to go. As a nurse, I know that when you have a patient who is at end stage of life and they are in amazing pain and they can't handle it anymore, and yet they're going to linger, you can see it, watch it, it's happening to them, and you are completely helpless other than to drug them out of their minds or put them into a coma. And there are things going on around this situation, because there are religious things happening to this person. There are personal lines where they have a living will and they've drawn a line in the sand. And I said, I will not, and they'll say, I will not go 1 minute past this at all. And then there are people who are mutilated to the point that they'll never really be alive. And do we pull the plug? Okay, there's a whole bunch of situations with this. Ending your existence is personal. And I do not condone any extinction level event that you create for yourself without reason. In other words, without due course of trying everything you can before you make that ultimate goal. If it's mental, find a doctor, find a reason to live, talk to people who will help you understand what it means to understand the joy of what life existence you have and the real gift you have by being here. Okay. If it's physical and you're really that sick and you can't take anymore and you're at the end of that, your doctor is already automatically going to be on board with you and will comfort you and help you through that to the end of your existence. You can actually call the ball there.
So the ETs don't ever do this.
No, it's personal. Everybody is different, and you don't just across the board state it's okay to commit suicide because you're not going to hell. Okay, that is not an excuse to commit
So
suicide.
if an ET is deathly ill, they could just walk off as
They
opposed.
walk off. They walk out of the body and leave. Yes.
Yeah, I would just add to this that the the strict structured religious interpretation of what happens to people is not true. People who end their life this way are taken care of, and I think in certain circumstances it's absolutely a sympathetic thing to do
Right.
for a person.
And this is where but this is where we all draw the line. Okay. And this is the line that you should draw, not in the sand, but in front of that person so that this person understands. If you're at that point, you really need to talk to someone to help walk you through it. In other words, this is not a decision you make alone, never alone. That's what ET does not condone. Okay. Never alone. You do not make this existential decision for yourself alone. You seek help. You seek knowledge about it. You know all that is knowable in this situation, because I guarantee you your mind is going to change one way or another. Humans are funny that way. Okay. And you need to give yourself every chance to be heard, understood, and work through it, whether it's with help or not, but don't do it alone ever. And ET does not condone that type of suicide. They do not encourage it. They don't state it.
Well, let's move on because we've got a lot of questions.
All right.
One last one from Michelle Wentling. Will ETs offer alternative energy with us? I don't think so.
No, we're on our own here. There is no such thing either. Energy is energy, okay? Whether it's free energy or not. If you were taught how to, you know what you can do? You can get some wire, copper wire, okay? And you can get it long enough to make about 16 different loops of it and connect it, okay? And then you put a magnet, like you hook it up, you put one into the wire, have a lead into a device that you want to run. And you got to realize that the voltage isn't going to be that good, but it could, depending on how much wire you have rolled up, okay? And then you take a magnet of consummate size to work with that wire, and you put it into the field. And you know what's going to happen? That thing's going to turn on like out of nowhere. That's free energy, okay? That's a simple experiment. Everybody go buy yourself some copper wire, find yourself a nice magnet, find a little teeny device like a light, a little teeny light, put it in the middle, hook it up to the copper wire, and stick that magnet in there. Make sure that you're wearing an insulated glove when you do it, okay? Period.
We're moving on because we got 30
That's
questions.
Free energy. All right.
30 questions and 20 minutes to do it.
Okay.
Van Darkholm, question. What is your take on manifestation? Is it real? I'm going to say yes, to a certain extent. If you set your mind to something, you can manifest it. It's not what we'd think of as magic. You can't just, well, I'm thinking this, so I'm going to manifest it. You take action to manifest it. You use your willpower, your imagination, your intent, your attention. You bring forth your power and you work with the physical universe to manifest it. It's
yeah,
not
but you don't
sitting
manifest
there meditating.
Yeah, but it doesn't come from nothing. You still have to work through that manifestation. In other words, it takes energy on your part. You have to put the energy to it. It's not always mind energy. Sometimes it's physical energy. Sometimes it's the energy of resourcing. You have to do everything in your ability, your power, your mind to manifest something. I can say, you know what? I want to live in a log cabin. I'm going to give you something that I manifested in my life. From a small age, I wanted to live in a log cabin. My dad drew me plans to build a log cabin. I have cousins. That's their job. That's what
Dolly.
All right. So finally, by the time I was 48 years old, that log cabin showed up in my life. And you bet your bippy I bought it in a second and lived in it for almost 13 years. Yes, that manifestation.
Never sell yourself short. You have all the power of the universe. You can absolutely achieve what you want. If you work, I don't remember this, but my older sister says this happened. We were traveling across the United States. We moved from Illinois to California, and we stopped at this place where there was a bird in a cage above us. And I called out to the little bird, "Birdie, birdie, give me a feather. Birdie, give me a feather." And it squawked its wings and brought down one feather, which I grabbed. And I don't remember this, but my sister swears up and down that this happened. And that's just a little example of how you can sort of reach out and get something. I don't know. I just thought it was a cute story.
cooperative effort, I think, though. Burning
Yeah.
that's sentience. You heard each other.
I like this question from Leah. May I ask if Alpha Centauri A or B can support humans if we could just get there?
Why are you trying to get to Alpha Centauri A or B? You're not going to. Nobody here is going to.
Well, maybe
Thinking
they
about
just
it is
bring us
wasting your
there.
time. No, wasting your time.
Is there
ET
life there? Do they have planets?
There's a possibility of it. I'm not going to say one way or another. I have no way to prove to you, so I'm not going to tell you yes or no. But I will tell you the idea of it is a possibility, yes. I will tell you this. You're not going to go there. You're not even, don't waste your time thinking about stuff like that. It's not up to you. Not at all. The universe has got this under control. If we're meant to go there, we will go there. If ET is going to take you there, ET will take you there.
So ETs haven't shown it to you? Or you all right? You don't want to talk about it.
I'm going to talk about. That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
We're starting it, Dolly. That's just more intriguing. Almost has more than a few answer.
The idea is don't worry about it. If you spend your time worrying about things you can't achieve or do or happen to you, you're wasting your time. Don't go there. That's you changing the channels constantly in your head. Pay attention to what you got to face here and now. Trust me, it's way better for you. It's better for you.
On.
Okay.
This is an interesting question regarding Mama, your main ET contact. Dolly, has Mama incarnated on Earth before? When I started reading Symmetry a while ago, I started having telepathic contact with new beings, but I'm not sure if it was weaponized AI or not.
Well, that's a good question, and one doesn't necessarily answer the other one. Part of this sentence is so let's try the first one. Everybody reincarnates, and you reincarnate all over this universe.
Has Mama incarnated on Earth?
Sure. So have you. So have you reincarnated somewhere else in the universe? We don't just, you're not locked here. This is not your home planet. It doesn't work that way. Okay. You have the entire universe to be in. You just came here for this for now. You can go anywhere you want.
All right. What about the second question? Can weaponized AI communicate with people?
Yes, it already is.
That's kind of frightening.
Yeah. That's why I tell you, turn your bloody Wi-Fi off at night. Stay away from it. Faraday your phones. Don't let anything transmit into you in your home at night. Sleep free of that. Literally.
All right. I am going to answer this one, Van Darkholm. Question, what do you think of Tom Campbell's theory of everything, that we live in a virtual reality computed by consciousness? No, I don't think that. I've read his book. I think he's got some things right. And sounds like he has had some amazing experiences. But having read all the literature on astral projection, out-of-body experiences, he's what I would call an outlier. His theory doesn't align with the vast majority of people who've had repeated astral projection experiences. We don't live in a matrix. It's not a simulation. It's not based on our own belief systems. It's a actual place that we live in. So I do think that our thoughts play a very strong role in our beliefs and how we perceive things. And that is absolutely true on the other side, because you can create on the other side with your thoughts alone. And it's so amazing and so much fun and looks absolutely real. So in that respect, I think some of what he's saying is right. And I think, honestly, that's where this whole simulation, virtual reality, matrix theory comes from, is because there is an ability for us to do that, but that's not what Earth is.
I want to add something. Okay. We live in a physical reality, and there's one or two ways to prove this to yourself. You do it as a small child, so you should have that memory in your brain. All right. Virtual realities that you're talking as a computer, and you put the thing up to your eyes and you're in another place, blah, 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 blah. It's not real. If you get stabbed in the eye in a virtual reality, you're not stabbed in the eye. You're not going to bleed out. You're not going to go blind in that eye. I guarantee you, if you stick something in your eye, you're going to bleed and you're going to lose your eyesight. Okay. If you cut your arm, you're going to bleed. You're going to have stitches, or you might lose part of your arm. If you gunshot something and that something shoots you back and shoots you, you're going to be injured. That makes it physical. You feel pain as a result of being touched, smacked, or shot, or stabbed, or whatever. You're in reality. There's no way out of it. Your physical mind, your consciousness are joined together and thinking together, but you're not in a, this is not virtual reality up here. This is reality too. But while you're in this dimension, in this body, in this time, you are in reality. There's no pill you can't get out of it. You're here. Period.
I think his book is worth reading, and I think we should all look at all perspectives. He's an interesting fellow for sure. Foxy Joe, no, this is not a replay. We are live.
Yes.
So if you have a question, well,
I couldn't answer your questions on your like
we're
this.
running out of time. But
All right.
Fox Mulder, what is the explanation provided by ETs for what we term the Mandela effect? I'm a skeptic of the Mandela effect, personally. I don't know. I know.
It's the media. No, you've been messed with mentally so much that you all think things that aren't. You're talked out of reality already. Okay, quit watching TV. Quit making commercials. Information from commercials more important to you than reality.
People
Okay.
are talking about skipping timelines and different
Yeah,
timelines. And that's
I know it doesn't exist. It's
Did
probably
Mr. Peanut have a monocle or didn't he? Or
no.
Nelson Mandela is.
Most people don't have an eidetic memory. I have an eidetic memory, and I exactly remember that. Okay, and when they say that, I look at people and I say, "You don't remember that at all," and you're being talked into believing that there's an issue with it. No, there's not. We don't. Okay, I bring this up all the time. When I'm talking to you right now, as you hear my voice, you're still talking in your own head. And you're overriding me as I speak. That's why you're not learning everything as you should from me. You don't have an eidetic memory to memorize everything that I've just said and make it personal to you. All right. So your brain creates things where it fills in gaps. It's like having vision problems. Your brain will automatically fill in the field of vision that's missing for you. And you got to stop doing that. You got to stop letting people talk about it with you and con you into that as a reality.
So basically, the ETs don't believe in the Mandela effect.
No, they don't have to. They have more than eidetic memories.
That's all we need to, yes or no. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pop this up. Robert Monroe was one of the first modern times to mention the loose soul trap farm theory. Tom Campbell disagreed with this. I do too. I think that's misunderstood, and I'm not sure that Robert Monroe really wrote that clearly into what he was trying to say, but it's certainly people have taken up that idea, and I don't think it's correct.
We're taught to be slaves. You have slaves thinking on this planet, and those of us who do the bidding of others are slaves. And if you can't think for yourself, you're in a lot of trouble, and you can believe stuff like that because of that type of thinking.
Here's a new one. We have to get through these last ones pretty quickly. Alfred Miller, question for Dolly. When we return to source, do we remember all of our past lives?
Yes.
What does this mean? How does a new soul begin? Is it created?
You've always been. Your mind is part of the all mind. You've always existed. You will never die.
No new souls. Right?
No. We were all the same.
We're all infinite years old, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
So there was a question. Let me see if I can find it. That's kind of related to this. Oh gosh, I might have to just wait till I get to it. But it was, what happens if? Oh, here it is. What if we choose where we reincarnate? How can I reincarnate as a tall white and skip the whole process here on Earth? Well, this is an interesting question because, can you go to a really advanced society and then to a one that's like not so advanced?
How do you know that what you're learning, where you're learning it, isn't more important than whether the order of your learning? Okay. You might choose to learn the ABCs today and tomorrow learn physics somewhere else. Okay. It's what you're going to learn now. And it doesn't have to do with how much knowledge you accumulate. It's what you do with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can,
So knowledge can come to you in a myriad of different ways at different levels, but you're learning through the whole thing. And there is no timeline of knowledge. There's no era of time there. It is just what you've decided to pick at because you think you need it.
All right. Yeah. Still talking about Tom Campbell. I'll reread the book. I just, some of the stuff you're saying, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got to stop mixing theory with fact as well. Okay. I'm going to point blank tell you, if you hear it's a theory, you need to really think hard about it. And if you can't disprove or prove that theory, you need to walk away from it. Don't even worry about it. You've heard it. Okay, move on. Okay. What you need to be working on is developing your ability to clearly understand facts and cognitively assimilate them so that you can use them, employ those facts. That's wisdom. Okay. Not listening to everybody's theories and losing your mind. If you keep asking questions forever, you will never answer anything for yourself, ever. You need to think about
what didn't the ET tell you the question? When you ask a question, the answer is inside you or something to that effect?
The question is attainable by you alone. I don't need to be answered. I don't need to be told anything. You know, when you're a child, you know, you're going to ask your parents this, that, and the other. But once you become responsible for yourself, which you are when you grow up, you have to learn how to answer your own bloody questions. And that means work at it. Okay, go ahead.
I love this one from Sharon Marlowe. We are doing a Q&A, by the way. just thank you, Sharon. I love this one. Why is the self so important? Isn't the self just a heavy coat that you're finally free from upon death? This is a really interesting question to me because I do feel like here on Earth, especially, we have a strong sense of individuality. But every time I go out of body, I get this incredible feeling of connection, to the point where you're so empathetic to another person. You feel it as if it is yourself. You feel what other people feel, to the point like, oh my gosh, self is not what we think it is.
Right. You have to separate self from ego. Those are two different things. The ego, the brain is egotistical, and it can go to the nth degree. In other words, it can become so egotistical, it loses all empathy for everything else. That's what you're trying to fathom. It's ego, not self. Know thyself. To thine own self be true. These are really good things. And you know yourself, so you can do that. But your ego can override you. Your mental, your physical brain can have an ego so big you shut it. Nothing else comes into you. That's a sad situation for you. If you lose empathy, you're in trouble. Okay.
All right. We're going to go quickly through these last ones because, let's see. we still have 13 minutes before I announce the winners of the book giveaway. Pretty much your last chance, guys, to submit a number. We're doing a book giveaway. Guess between 1 and 1,000. Only one guess. Looks like we already have 3 winners, but if you haven't guessed yet, now's your last chance. All right, Dolly. Have you ever been with the ETs and seen what we call a black hole up close?
Yeah.
Without getting too much, because we got other questions.
This has to do with optics. You know that gravity can bend light. And when something is so magnetically gravity heavy, you're not looking at it as it really is. The light's being bent around it, and it appears black. You can't see anything in it because it's taken all the light and moved it out of your range of vision. So you don't know what you're looking into. It's not a hole. It's the light's bent around it so completely that you can't see it for what it really is. We know a couple things about what you term a black hole, and it's the most misleading term to call something I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay. It is not a hole. What it is an optically impeded phenomenon of mass and matter that you cannot calculate exactly as it is. It's almost impossible to know anything, but they do know some things. They know that they can eat planets, they can eat stars, they can eat matter and take all that in. But funny thing, they also know that they can spit it out as well. And a couple times they've caught these phenomenon chewing up other planets nearby, and they see the energy ejecting like a neutron star, you know, or a quasar, you know, how they shoot energy out the poles. This leads it should lead our scientists to understand that there is an object in there that is so gravity heavy from the weight of it that it is actually a mass inside that optical illusion, and it is capable of amassing greater mass. I'm not so sure how big that type of phenomena can occur. I know that they've seen them in the universe pretty daggone big. I don't think I'd like to meet up with that, and no ET has ever flown close to one, ever, that I know of. So yeah, deal with that. Research somewhere. Yeah.
I'm just going to pop this up. Nice guess, Benno. 3.14159. That's cute.
Oh, pie. Yeah, thank you. String it all the way out. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's right or wrong. No giveaways yet. I just thought it was a nice guess.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go rapid fire through these last ones because we don't have a whole lot of time.
Okay.
Central Wisconsin. Dolly, if an ET should crash, does the fifth denominational being dwelling in the craft exit the craft prior or right after? Good question.
It happens so fast they can't get out. They either survive the crash or they don't. If they're going to die after the crash, and most of them do, because they can't take our pressure or our atmosphere properly. Okay, that's serious. And the little AI guys that are on board, they're worker guys, will turn themselves off. They're told, they're programmed to do that. ET generally is, if they have deaths like that or whatever, they try to get to the craft before anybody else does. And the people on this planet have become very good at watching where they land and being ready to pick them up as fast as they can. It's almost like a game to see who's going to get there first. But ET will always take the craft back with them. They have a way to do that. They will rescue the
question
and everything. Yeah.
Why do we have time and ETs don't? They don't have clocks or anything, do they? Do they wear watches?
It's relative. Einstein was absolutely right about that. If you're going to talk about time, talk about relativity. It's all relative. It doesn't matter. They don't consider it. The only time they pay attention to time is when they're working far away from us and coming back to us. Then it's a big deal. They're coming into our time, and they have to be. They use specific techniques to get back here. Remember, they can travel through light gates. So 100,000 light years.
Calendars.
No. If they have a home world, their home world probably marks time there because they're revolving around the sun, and they have days and nights as well. They do live by the arrow of time that way, but when they're traveling through space, no, they do not go by.
When they say like, oh, I'm this many years old, are they just converting it to our Earth years then?
No, and that's a problem for me because when I was a teenager, I asked the mama, how old are you? And she had to sit there and literally seriously think about how old she was. And she was over 800 of our years. That's what she told me. And I go by that. She's around 840 something now, according to her time here. But no, there's no way to know.
We put a lot of emphasis on time here.
Right. Yeah.
Part of the whole enslavement process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Jim Simmons, underground bases, undersea bases. Aliens already here? You're firmly with the knowledge that no, they're not.
No,
there's no undersea underground bases.
No, none. First of all, there's no inner Earth. Okay. If you have you ever gone down into a cave, a deep cave?
Especially now, because we need to.
The pressure alone is like, oh wow, you start popping and everything. If you try to dive down, it's the same thing. That pressure coming in water is even worse. It puts down on you. It'll pop you like a balloon. It is. There's no inner Earth, so no bases, none, and they only go in the water to cool off.
What are the biggest falsehoods about ETs? That they're here to hurt, harm, or take over, or cause fear. That would be, I think, the biggest misconception.
That's number one, exactly.
Okay, Dolly or Preston, have you heard of walls of light that flow like slow motion water during an onboard experience? I'll call them an onboard experience. They use light in ways that we have no idea how to fully comprehend. So I think to some extent, yeah, you might perceive it that way, like a light beam lifting someone up. What do you call it? Energy beam?
Yeah, it's an energy beam. Yeah.
All right. So anything else you want to say on that? Or I'm moving on.
Yeah, move on.
Okay. What are the differences between dimensions and densities? Are there dimensions within each dimension?
Largely, gravity has a lot to do with it. The gravitational space between us also has to do with the frequency of light itself. The frequency of light in the third dimension is different from the frequency of light in the fourth dimension, or the fifth dimension, or the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Okay. And your ability to perceive what that is, because we're all here at the same time. We're all on top of one another. The higher dimension people can see you. You just can't see them because you're locked into your head and you're not using your abilities and you can't see them. That's the difference.
All right. What about lizard ETs? Are they underground?
Can you imagine a being from the Jurassic period surviving until now, hiding from us, not being anywhere that they could be found, not in great numbers because there was an extinction level event, but enough that they're knowable and then being seen because we're populating this earth like crazy and digging out through things. And yes, they have been found. They are from here. And you people call them reptilians, but they're not really, but they are a type of sentient being, yes, from those periods, from the earth, from that time.
Okay, now let me see. We've got literally 5 minutes. I'm going to say 4 because I need a minute to announce the winners.
Okay.
Okay. Do extraterrestrials have music?
Yes, of course. Music is a language. Of course, it's mathematical. Everybody has music. God, I hope so. If you don't, I worry about you. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard accounts of people actually hearing music from a UFO.
Yes.
Okay, Joe Fox, can I manifest an encounter or a sighting?
Can you manifest? No, but you can directly try to communicate with them and ask them for a visit. Physically, they're not going to come to you now, but psychically, you could make contact with an ET, yes. But you have to develop your abilities. They want you to. That's their mission, to get you to use your abilities so that you can reach out to them at a level that they can communicate with you properly.
All right. What breed is your dog? She's a Great Dane, but about 5% human, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How can you tell if you are being deceived? Through your own intuition is the best way.
Right.
I think.
You hear the lie. If you're psychic, you'll hear the lie. It'll tell you. You'll know.
Okay. I think we have time for another one. Scott from South Carolina. Can we go back in time and fix our mistakes through
No.
manifestation?
No, it doesn't exist anymore. You only exist in the second that you're in, period. Okay? Everything behind that is gone. It's not attainable. It's gone. That's what it means to live in the third dimension. Everything decapitates and disintegrates and goes away. The earth does it slowly. We do it quickly. Our actions, our words, our thoughts, everything all do not exist anymore in the past. They don't exist. The only reason you know they existed is because you have memory of them. That's it. Okay.
All right. I think we are just about caught up. Let me see. In Symmetry 3, in Symmetry Chapter 3, you talked about universal law and mortality that you learned. Can you expand? Mortality?
For every action, there's universal law. Number one, for every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. Number one law in the universe. For every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction. You can guarantee that, period. There's no exceptions to that rule. It is universal. That's it. You have to learn to live with that. And a lot of people don't, because they believe that their actions can be denied somehow, whatever. They become delusional about it. Everything you say, do, feel, all of it has a reaction. Okay? Okay, second universal law. You can be your best friend or your worst enemy. It affects you before it affects anybody else. That's what karma is. If you do something stupid, you will pay. It might not be today. It might be 5 years from now or 10 years, but you are going to pay for your stupidity if you do something that colossally stupid that causes that kind of reaction. And again, we go back to the first rule. For every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction. Third law of life.
Quickly.
It is better to give than to receive. Okay? It is better to love something outright, no matter what that is, and help it before you help yourself. That is the third law of life, because when you do that, the reaction that you get back from that helps you as well. We are our brother's keeper. We are supposed to love one another. We are supposed to take care of one another. We are supposed to be gracious and kind and everything else. Everything else becomes easy after that. Those are the three universal laws right there. The first two apply in forward and backward, and the third one is how you act and what you do. Okay, you are 100% responsible.
No, I'm going to wrap up with 3 or 4 more questions, and then, guys, we have to stop.
Okay.
Have not read The Sleeping Abductee by Ashayana Dean, but I'll check it out. Thanks for the heads up on that. Pretty sure Dolly hasn't read that too. Mountain Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste. Okay, have you heard of Bowen energy work? I got a session today for my sciatic nerve pain. I haven't. But Van Darkholm is asking, is energy healing real? Oh yeah, absolutely. So now I imagine
It's not energy, it's frequency healing. Your cells in your body react to frequencies. It either helps them or hinders them. And there's a lot of liquid involved, water, body fluids and stuff like that. If your body's fluid is aligned and well, and you can do that with frequency. If you have something that's not feeling better, whatever, they can use certain frequencies to help you heal from it. Your body's the one that's healing itself, but that frequency helps you direct that to healing. Okay.
All right. 2 more questions, because now we are officially at the end line.
Okay.
This is from Cal. Preston, do you recommend hypnosis as a means to recover memories lost during missing time incidents? Any particular style of hypnosis? Yes, I do, but only as a last resort. I think first you should write down everything you experienced, your feelings inside, every sense you had, smell, taste, the events before the incident, the events after the incident, and fill out that detail over a period of months even. And you'll be surprised how much you can bring back.
Right.
Then do meditation on it. You can bring back more memories that way. Then perhaps do dream work. Ask to dream about it. That can be surprisingly effective.
Your consciousness knows what happened to you. Okay.
Go to a support group.
Might be damaged, and
People
that's
might mention stuff. But if you're dealing with anxiety that's due to this incident, yeah, I would recommend it. And I think it's very effective. No particular style. Just find someone you trust. I have 3 people I can recommend to you if you want to email me.
Yeah, don't let anybody walk you through something and put the power of suggestion into your mind. This person has to be willing to help you feel safe and comfortable, to bring yourself into the ability to hear yourself thinking, okay, and recover memory that way. But they can't lead you into memories, false memories. That's a bad thing. And it takes a special kind of hypnotist to do that. They have to know their stuff to do it, okay? Be careful, because you can be led astray. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I need to delete this comment. Okay. And one last question. How can I manage the fear against these beings?
Let it go. If you see, your belief system is what's got you in fear. You've been taught to believe fear is a thing. Okay, don't. If you're afraid, that means you don't know enough about it. And the idea here is to educate yourself. Once you shed a light on something and understand what it really is, and this means foundational learning, you lose the fear of it. I know that I'm not going to jump off a building 10 stories up, okay? I don't fear it because I know better than to walk off the ledge. I know better than to let somebody behind me push me off. These are things that you can acquire to reduce fear or abolish fear. We have in us fight or flight syndrome. All humans are born with the self-preservation. You don't mix up self-preservation with unknowns that you can easily have become knowns.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? All right.
People have a fear of death, and that's ultimately what all fear revolves around. Knowledge replaces fear. Love replaces fear. If you can overcome fear, it will help you in all aspects of your life. Fear is internal more than it is external.
Right. And you remember, you weren't born here to be safe. Trust me, you weren't. You're going to hurt yourself one way or the other before you leave here. And it might not be good. Everybody has that coming at them while they're living here. And that kind of fear is unreasonable fear. Don't fear it. Live your life.
All right. Well, we now got 7 minutes before we can't archive the show, so we gotta end it.
Okay.
Who
won?
We had a book giveaway, and the secret number between 1 and 1,000 was 432. Some of you came very close. In fact, our 3 winners today are Janie Mashburn.
Yay!
5 numbers away. Congratulations, Janie. And next closest was Holistic MD, also very close.
Yay!
And our 3rd winner, sorry, Louisa, you just got edged out by my bud, who guessed 463. So those are our 3 winners. If you think your number was closer to 432, let me know, because my math is not perfect, but I believe that is it. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for playing, you guys. Contact me via email. Here's my email right here on the screen, and I will send you the book. If you already have this book, go to my website, prestondennett.weebly.com, and choose another. There are a few out of print, but you should be able to find one you like. So thanks for playing, you guys. Absolutely. I'm so delighted you could join us tonight. Really want to thank you all for listening and having fun with us and asking all these questions. So thank you, especially for you guys who were able to support our show. It means a lot. It really does help us. Namaste. And Charlie Squatch, I'm just endlessly grateful for you guys. Bob Thorson, that helps us so much. Sonny Burnett, and
Thank you.
Green Appreciator, thank you. Janie Mashburn, amazing. Mountain Dan. Oh, Janie Mashburn, you won too.
That's
But yeah, you guys, every single one of you, love you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. I absolutely love doing these Q&As. We learn from you guys as well. So it's a lot of fun. Thank you so much. And I guess, Dolly, we have to go.
Yes, thank you for coming and joining us tonight. We love you very much. We're coming to you live from the beautiful city of New Orleans in Louisiana at the United Public Radio Network at 107.7 FM and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 105.3 FM. We're on Facebook, we're on Roku, we're on Rumble, and we are on YouTube. Please, everybody, go through the week, have a good week, learn all that is learnable, and then proceed. And check out Ben Davidson's channel, Space Observers. Go to his playlist, do the homework, because there might be a surprise coming soon. Night, night.